Hey YouTube, this is Boogie Panda and I'm bringing you the third episode to how to TW as an archer. And in this episode we're going to look at chi management. Now, what useful skills do you actually need chi for? Well, there are 5 useful skills in TW that you actually need chi for. Barrage of arrows, that skill it just causes destruction if you got a highly refined weapon, and that requires two sparks. Wings of Grace, a lifesaver, and Elven Elasticity, useful for saying going to arm guard, sprinting to like a group of enemies and barging on them or something, or just getting away because Holy Path might not be viable because they got BMs, Sins, Psychics, Archers, whatever the classes that can stun and freeze. And yeah, it increases your movement to speed to 15 meters per second and also gives you an anti-stun. Well, not anti-stun, but anti-movement debuff buff. Yeah, that, you know, that Wings of Grace icon thing. Yeah, that thing. And you also need it for aim low, although that might be only situational. It's still more useful than some of the other skills in TW. And lastly, Thundershock, your metal debuff. So basically, to unleash the deadliest skills of an archer in TW, you need chi. You need it to unleash the skill that causes mass destruction within 12 meters, or you need it to save your life, such as Wings of Grace or Elven Elasticity. Now, this is kind of split into 2 parts. The first part being conserving chi, and the second part being building chi. So what conserving chi is that basically don't use chi like on useless skills. So the useless skills being Storm Rage Eaglon, that crappy little metal debuff slash damage over time that require 2 sparks. I mean, granted the animation is fancy, but its effects are useless. Don't use it on sparking unless, because like if you spark, it only like increases your base damage, but most of the time you're sparking to deal higher damage to a single target, but to like make the most use out of your chi, you should be unleashing it on an area of effect attack, AoE, so like Barrage of Arrows. And also don't use Winged Shell. That skill is pretty much rendered useless. If you need that survivability, use the defense charm. You know those things that you make out of, I think, perfect stones that you make them out of. It reduces either physical damage or magical damage by 50% or 33% or 66% depending on which one you craft or do the trophy modes. I think the 66% reduction one is only available via doing lunar trophy mode. So also, don't use Thundershock unless it's necessary. Referring back to episode 1, Auto Attacking to Success. If you need more clarifications, refer to that episode. The other one is that if you need to go into arm guard and you're not in a dire situation, try to use Fortify if you can. Like if you go into arm guard with something other than Fortify, it basically requires 1 spark unless you're like counting Faith or Absolute Domain or crazy skills like that. Like 1 spark to an archer, it arguably is a lot higher cost in quotational marks than 55 genie energy required for level 1 Fortify. Second part is building chi. Now there are several ways to build chi. Wings of Protection and Blaze, your 2 buffs, gives chi. Blessing of Condor also gives you chi. I think it gives 15 if I remember correctly, but it has a 3-minute cooldown and it's not spammable. In my opinion, you shouldn't really be using it for chi. The other option is to instant charge take aim. That's where you either double click, take aim really fast, or just hold keyboard shortcut down and that will instantly release a take aim. It's about as fast as an auto attack for my archer, and that has 0.87 attacks per second. I'd say it's a tiny bit faster. But the main advantage is that it gives 10 chi instead of just 5 chi for a normal attack. If you're Sage, use the skills that gives you chi. Use the Master Lee's chi technique thing when your seal goes off. Lightning Strike gives either 8 or 10 chi. I can't remember which one it is, but it definitely gives more chi than an auto attack does. if you're taking down a binding post and you're like in a defense squad, or you're not trying to push, or you're not under time constraint, use Serrated Arrow, Vicious Arrow, and Take Aim. All of those skills gives you 10 chi instead of the 5 by normal attacking. Another way to gain chi is by using Chi Apoth right after you spawn in the base. So like after you release, by the time you get back into action with buffs, you found your squad, you're back in the right place, your Apoth cooldown, which is 2 minutes, should be off. Another option, there's so many options, is Cloud Eruption or Chief Siphon Genie. Those skills gives 1 spark or 2 sparks respectively. You can also use Galvanic Charge or Chi Siphon as you enter TW. Those skills basically used, like, by Chi Siphon I mean another character do your main character that you TW with, and use Chi Siphon just before you click enter instance. Basically what that does is that it gives you explosion buff, and that buff recovers chi. And you guys you probably know that when you enter TW, your buffs are not taken off you, but your chi is. So you can still carry that buff through with you, and if you use Galvanic Charge, you probably end up with something like 60 or 70 chi when you enter TW. Or if you use Chi Siphon, you probably end up with nearly 2 sparks. And that basically covers this 3rd episode. I hope you guys found it useful. Make sure you subscribe for the next installment, which will be next Wednesday.